With all the latest big talking points, news and discussion from the football world, this is Football Central. Go.
Hello and thank you, Will. Hello and welcome to Football Central's post-match analysis, plus a bit of football talk for a very special reason. You'll see why in a second. Of Man United versus Fulham. The score at the end of the day was 1-1. But yeah, we'll get into that more later on. A good fight back from Fulham, a fantastic goal from Edinson Cavani, and more points dropped for the Red Devils as Ollie and his team continue on. So the main drawing point for any viewers today would be that there is a full complement of us, and let me explain what that means. That of the original 4 of us that started this show are all here, so I'll go through them, starting with your host today, your main host, the man whose channel is on, Mr. TubeMix, aka Will. How are you doing?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah. Also joining me is, you didn't answer when I said how are you doing. You didn't answer.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, great. Also joining me, one of my oldest and dearest friends, Mr. Sam Taylor.
Hello there. Hi, everyone. You all right?
All good. And also making a special guest appearance because his hamstring injury has sorted itself out after so long. I think he needs a better doctor, to be fair. It's the original Mr. Ben Carney.
Hello, it's good to be back. The hamstrings on the mend.
Good to have you back as well.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Yep, and obviously final introduction is myself. I am Jordan, aka JLIWheels, and I'm looking forward to getting into this. It's been a while since we've had a boys chat. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we have spent the last hour and a half having a bit of a catch up and a bit of a football chat. So yeah, we've got no real plan of what we're gonna do today. We're obviously gonna talk about the game. There are some big things that have gone on in the footballing world as recent as today, with Harry Kane telling Spurs he wants to leave, and obviously Leicester winning the FA Cup, and
Roy Hodgson going as well,
stepping down from Palace. The next 2 inductees into the Premier League Hall of Fame, unless there have been more since I last checked, but the 2 that have been announced today are Eric Cantona and Roy Keane. So we're going to talk more about that, who we would choose as our next inductees, and maybe a little bit more depending on how we do. We've got Ben until about 11, so we'll probably try and finish around about then. If we do go a bit later, then we do. But yeah, I'll hand over to Will, and we can get started.
Right, thank you very much, JLIWheels.
Sorry to interrupt. I just look. While we're on about a full compliment, I'd just like to say how brilliant it is having fans back in
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
it was especially. Go on, sorry, Ben.
I mean, you talk about the fans being the 12th man, and until they're gone, you don't realise that as such. But it is definitely true. It adds to the atmosphere tenfold.
Yeah.
Agreed.
100%.
Right, go on then.
Will?
Yep, right. Thank you very much, JLIWheels. And, same here. Great to have you here, Ben. really missed you, and yeah, really good to have you here, mate, from all of us.
Missed you, Ben.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
Right,
Great to have
so
you, mate.
did we see the game, did we, today?
Yeah. Course,
Yeah,
course, Will.
what a goal from Cavani.
Yeah, absolute
Yeah.
stunner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I will watch the
but,
highlights right now. Then I can get involved.
Okay.
For me, that was the only good bit of play that United actually played the whole game.
Yeah.
I thought other than that, we took the foot off the gas. We let Fulham back into it. But 40 yards screamer, I mean, that is up there with goal of the season for me.
It just encapsulates Cavani as a whole, doesn't he? I think he's a. So I was just gonna say, I think he's he's an all-round player.
He is,
For a
yeah.
fan,
Yeah,
because
well-
he runs, he presses. He's at 34 to do what he does, and is an.
That is a absolutely filthy goal. Literally, he's got no. Well, it's it's not one of those absolute top corner chips, and he's not thumped it in, or the goalkeeper's not scrambling. But to be fair, I think that makes it a better goal. The goalkeeper's in a good position to get to it if he reacts quick enough, and he
Yeah.
just lobbed it over him so nonchalantly. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
goal.
What we're saying though, just on the goal, did Bruno Fernandes touch it or not?
Just
Yeah,
about, no.
I think so.
I think he did, yeah. I think
He doesn't. He doesn't. I've just seen it in slow motion on the Sky Sports thing. He doesn't touch it.
does he not? I thought it
No.
Because Graham Souness said that the ball
I hate
trajectory
Graham.
would have changed if he'd have touched
Do
it.
you know
I
what?
quite liked it. What's wrong with Graham?
Oh no, I hate him. He's so
He
big.
is good as a pundit, he is.
Oh, he's washed out. But anyway, that's for another day. Going back to the goal a second, I'll just add to the performance as a whole after I said another piece about the goal. But that goal just highlights for me the top quality awareness that Cavani has, because they were saying in commentary, and my uncle was saying it too, and I agree with him, and that was to pull that off, you had to have the awareness as well as the ability to do it.
Of course, you need to know where you are on the pitch. Yeah.
Exactly. And many players will have the ability to do it, but not the awareness. So they would shy away from doing it. But not Cavani. He's just got it all. I mean,
He's class. He's absolute class. I think obviously he can't play every single game because of the way he plays, but I'm so, when we brought him as good a player as he is, I thought a bit of a panic by that with his age.
Yeah, I think a lot of us did.
We all said it.
Well, I knew he was quality. I just didn't think he could do it that consistently anymore. But I have to say, sorry Ben, I was just going to say he definitely deserves a number 7 shirt as well, because he gives us that something special.
He's broke the 7 curse at United. I'd just like to say that Cavani, for me, he came in similarly to Ibrahimovic, and obviously
Yeah, in the way he took to the league, yeah.
Yeah, and Ibra had a similar impact, but I actually think this is my personal opinion, that I know with Ibrahimovic we won the Carabao Cup and the Europa League. We can win it with Cavani, but I actually think my personal opinion is that Cavani's had a better impact than Ibra had.
Well,
But
Cavani's got
I think
experience
it's
and class.
sorry.
Yes. He's not got the ego, has he, that Ibrahimovic has?
I was just gonna say that I think it's difficult because I think they both had an amazing impact in their own right. I think obviously the different types of strikers, so it's hard to compare them as players. But I do think that at times, as good as Ibra was and as many goals as he scored, he slowed us down sometimes.
yeah,
Where you look at the quality was there, but just his style slowed us down. A bit like Berbatov, if you like. Sometimes slowed us down but had immense quality. But Cavani, because he can run, he can press from the front, and I do think that Cavani is infectious. I really do think
I agree.
And he's much more complete since any striker United have had since Rooney.
Yeah.
Like his passing ability, his awareness, like you said, his finishing, his positioning.
He's got
I
a lot.
mean,
He's got a lot.
you know,
It's just the same as 34 and not 24.
we've all, Ben, Sam, myself, not so much Will because he's too busy staring at cats or watching Pointless or whatever it is that he watches. But we've all analysed a lot of football and top leagues and top players. I mean, specifically to Man United for Ben and Sam, but to me, there are very few in world football in modern history over the past 10, 15 years that are better than Edinson Cavani.
Yeah, and you'd probably would you put Ibra in the category in terms of with Cavani in terms of impact he's had on the game over the last 15 years, George?
Yeah,
as well?
I think
Similar
that
sort of impact.
Ibrahimovic.
Cavani's a more complete player, though.
Yeah, I mean Cavani. I feel like part of the thing with Cavani is you could probably play him anywhere from midfield to striker. Whereas Ibrahimovic, his impact on the game, especially as a striker, to me was he showed that sometimes believing your own hype can make you a better player, because I think that Ibrahimovic knew how good he was.
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
Because of that self-belief and that understanding that to him, is the best striker going. He can do anything, and I think that the one of the things about that as well, one of the reasons that that's a really good attribute to having a striker, is that if you have high standards of yourself and you believe that you meet those standards, if other people aren't meeting your standards for yourself, that is why that kind of person is such a needed person in the dressing room, because they will, they'll have you. They'll tell you. They'll make sure that that you're not being good enough in their eyes. You could be an 8 out of 10 every game, and somebody like Ibrahimovic would say, if you are not matching me, then you've got to be a 10 out of 10 every game.
I think just to pick up on that, John, I think Cavani demands the same, but from a different standpoint. Cavani might not tell you that, but he'll certainly show you on the pitch.
Yeah, you can tell, can't you?
And I also think that the reason that sorry Ben, let me just the reason that I think that Cavani, I feel like Cavani's gone under the radar this season. I don't know whether you two agree in terms of like his impact to Man United. For me, supersedes Bruno in a way.
Yeah, well,
because I've said it before about Bruno, and he only scores penalties, which is fair and not fair, because he does score a lot, but he has also. But if Bruno has a bad game, he hasn't got top league experience. No disrespect to the Portuguese league. Whereas somebody like Cavani, because he's experienced, because he's been there and he's done it all, and he's played with the Ibrahimovic, and he's banged in 25 goals a
Yeah.
season for like 5 or 6 seasons in a row when he was in his prime. That player is
Yeah.
so much more valuable than anybody they've got, than a prime De Gea, than Rashford on his day, than Greenwood on his day. The most important and the best player in that team is Edison Cavani
I agree
Yeah,
with
well,
that, absolutely.
by a mile.
It's, I don't know. You know, you have players that impact the team. So we said about Maguire, Fernandez, they would be really missed if just as much as Cavani. But you could argue that he's the best player we've got. Yeah, maybe not the most important because he can't play every game, but the best player. You
I
could
think both of
argue.
your points are correct, I think.
yeah.
Go on, Ben.
Yeah.
I can tell you when to say something, mate. So
I mean, I was just gonna say on Cavani, like you said, he is infectious, and I think what goes under the radar is his work rate, because his his desire to win bulls back, quite often sets up counter attacks, and I think I'm the most important influential player. I think Cavani is up there, definitely 100%. But I wouldn't like to
Chelsea have got a penalty, by the way.
have this.
Well in.
I knew they were 1-0 up, Rudiger scored. But yeah, in terms of the most influential player, I wouldn't like to pick because there's so many influential positions on the pitch and in the team. There's so many big characters that if you take them away, they'll be missed. For me, my personal opinion, and you probably disagree, obviously, I think, and we will see if I'm proven right in the next few weeks. But my personal opinion is the biggest influence and miss to our team is Harry Maguire, because yes, he might not be the best player, but he is the most influential in my opinion, because
Valuable.
obviously he's injured now, and you look and you see the next drop off in quality at centre back, and it's uncanny really. But when we lost on Thursday night, I felt a great deal of uneasiness, and that all stemmed from the back. And we were saying before that he might not be fit for the Euros, and that'll be a big problem for England as well. But like I say, you can have that conversation all night, whether it be Maguire, Cavani, Bruno, Pogba. It could be
You know who he reminds me of? Cavani. And United fans won't let me saying this because of what he went on to do. But he reminds me of a better version of Carlos Tevez.
I knew
Oh.
you were good.
Oh, that's a controversial.
No. I just mean in his style is similar.
Yeah,
Runs.
but they could. Well,
I think he's more like Berbatov, to be fair. I think like
No.
Berbatov knew.
Berbatov.
But Berbatov knew he didn't. The only difference meaning Berbatov knew that because of his age, he didn't quite have the pace. But you watch Berbatov's play, his dribbling, his awareness. Like, not enough people for me talk about Dimitar Berbatov. He is truly, truly one of the best
Oh,
players.
He was a
Best
great
striker.
player, wasn't he?
yeah, and for somebody that had no pace whatsoever, really, he had
No,
such
he was poor.
golden.
He was poor. On the run, he was poor. He couldn't run for shit.
But I have to say, I don't know if Ben agrees that there are elements that remind you of Carlos Tevez, just the infectiousness and just his running style. It
Well,
just reminds you.
Another
Well,
I
great
see what
player,
you mean.
Tevez.
I see what you're both saying because they have Cavani. Obviously, in my opinion, he's better and he's more complete.
Oh yeah, I'm not denying Cavani's a better player than Tevez.
Than them two players, but I do see both of them players in Cavani because also they nicknamed Tevez the Bulldog, and Cavani has a bit of that person.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. He just chase down everything, and I think Cavani does the same. Carry on, mate.
And the performance as a whole, because we haven't really spoke about it. Like I said, the best bit of play was the goal, and then we just dropped off.
We went into our chat.
Wan-Bissaka got left for dead for the Fulham goal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Ball watching.
And
Basic.
Shaw could have arguably stopped the cross. But I just think it's a bit of end of season syndrome for us. Like the past couple of seasons, we've finished the season quite poorly, to be honest. I just hope that they can get it out the system before the Europa League playoffs.
Yeah.
I go back to it, and Maguire will be missing for it. Now that's gonna be a huge blow for us, but hopefully we win our first silverware in 4 years. And
Do you think? Go on, Ben. Carry on. Sorry.
I think if obviously we've secured second now, but to demonstrate clear progress, I think we need to win silverware, and then hopefully next year kick on, get a centre back. You know,
Definitely, yeah.
There's talk of Kane in the last few days. If we get him, I'll be thrilled. Could have a Van Persie impact like a few years ago. Maybe
I'd like to try and go for Wesley Fofana at the back.
Yeah, I said him too, but the demand another 80-90 million.
I don't know. The thing with Fofana. Sorry to cut across you, Ben. The thing with Fofana is, I think there is. I don't know how to say this in front of United fans, but I think you'll understand my point. With Leicester just winning the FA Cup, I think there's a lot more sustainability at Leicester than there is at United at the moment.
No,
I've said this multiple times. Leicester. To me, Leicester are a top 6 club.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'd
right
agree
now,
with that as well.
I hope they stay there.
But in terms of personnel and the way they play, yeah.
I can see, I can see the majority of the players they've got not leaving. I think, there's lots of talk about Maddison. I think he's been far too injury prone. He won't go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be leaving.
Vardy will finish his career there now.
Yeah, Vardy's getting too old to move. Fofana's only had 1 season. I don't think he'll go. And then you've got like Ricardo, James Justin, Luke Thomas, he looks like a great prospect. Then you've got like Tielemans, who's supposedly about to sign a new contract.
He's a great player.
Yeah.
Is
Ian Nacho won't go because he's only, the form that he showed, he's only showed for the second half of the season. So they're going to have a lot of that squad that we've enjoyed watching and talking about.
Do you think indeed he could go?
I like Ndidi, but I don't hear that many people talking about him.
This is the thing. People like Ndidi are happy just going under the radar, doing the dirty work.
He's a fantastic player, Ndidi. So versatile as well.
I've heard rumours he could go, because apparently they're potentially lining up Samari from Lille.
That'd be a great signing. That'd be a great signing.
But I don't know much about him.
I agree with you, George, to be honest, in your original point, because Leicester, they're so well connected from fans, players to owners. They're building a well-oiled machine that if they had the likes of Samari and one or two more prospects mixed with one or two more experience, I don't see why they can't finish in the top 4 every season.
No.
The thing is, the only thing I'd say about the squad, just before you make your point there, George, is that the fact that Leicester now this result a 2-0 down against Chelsea, and if Liverpool then win the 3 games, I think they'll get into the Champions League instead of Leicester, and that could play a massive part if they don't get top 4 again.
Yes, that'd be the only reason I think to leave.
Hear that Joe scored? We're talking of the top 4.
Wait, go on, Kelechi.
Brilliant.
Get on, Kelechi.
Game on again.
I like Kelechi.
We say about the top 4 and what I just said, but a draw for Leicester City would be a good draw. And there's no guarantee Liverpool are going to win the last 2 games anyway. Alisson's header, by the way, I think we just...
Go on it. What were you going to say anyway, George?
What I was going to say, was like, the thing with me, and I've said this a lot of times, and for the most part, Sam and Will have agreed with me, like, there's not that much going for United, for me. There's no, I don't know, like,
they're a funny team, aren't they?
You've got all these good players. Your Pogba, your Cavani, your Bruno, your Rashford. Great players. But there's no excitement. I've seen United quite a few times, and they beat teams, and they beat teams by convincing scorelines. But the performances are shocking, and I do think that eventually that they will get found out. And I think
definitely,
around it. You look at the teams around them. I'm specifically really only talking about City, City, Chelsea, Leicester. Like, City could go on and win the title for years and years. Not just that, but Chelsea have an exciting team with.
Yeah.
No, I do. I think that they, in the next 3 years, if none of the top 4 up their game, they could win. They could win and win.
That's why I think it's so important. Obviously, for me as a United fan, the priority before anything else is getting a decent centre back.
Absolutely, we do. We need a centre back. Yeah.
Maguire, but that is why Kane because
But let me just ask a question on the Kane thing, right? Because this is my reason why I'm so against Kane to United, because you've got so many good attacking players. So one of those
Yeah,
good
but
attacking players.
Cavani's getting old, isn't he?
Yeah, okay. So Kane replaces Cavani. You've still got Martial. You've still got Greenwood.
Well, yeah.
You've still got Rashford. You've still got
Greenwood.
Diallo, who's a young player who needs his way through.
Rashford and Greenwood are not out and out strikers. I see
No, but
Rashford.
they could be.
Greenwood's long-term position will be
I-
up top, I will thought.
No, I see.
I think they. I agree
Rashford-
with Sam. I
I
think they
see-
work better as wingers.
I see Greenwood cutting in from the right and Rashford from the left, and I think we need a proper striker to support that. And then
Okay, so let me just finish my point for 1 second, and then you can carry on, Sam. Whereas with City, like for me, I don't think Pep has enough faith in Gabriel Jesus, which is unfair, but he does miss a lot of chances, so I can understand it. City are crying out for a marquee striker. They need an Aguero replacement. And
Yes.
the thing about Aguero that Kane fits the bill for is Aguero did all sorts of work for City, but also finished the chances. So I think that Kane fits in really well to replace Aguero. That being said, we don't even know. Would I have him at Chelsea? I'd snap your hand off because he scores goals. But I don't think he'd go there.
No, I
There's a
don't
lot
think
of
he-
animosity between. If he went there, I actually lose quite a bit of respect for him because the animosity between Spurs and Chelsea is pretty bad, and the only football rivalry I'll go, oh yeah, I don't like them. It's Spurs, and I'm not too bad with all the other London clubs, but then again, I don't really see them as a threat. I don't really see Spurs as a threat to us by any mile, but you know, Spurs fans are just horrible.
and the Kane.
I think Chelsea fans are horrible. No
Hey,
offense.
I'm not gonna disagree. I think most Chelsea fans are horrible.
You
But
I
you're
don't-
a true
Your
fan,
ground's
so
good to be fair. I like your ground. I've been there and it's great.
Stamford Bridge is one of the best in world football.
it's alright.
Especially,
They need a new one.
especially
They
because
need a new
it's not big Harry Maguire scoring a big header right in front of me. But anyway, on the Kane saga, I agree with what you're saying, and I do think he'll go to City. That's my opinion, because he wants.
He's guaranteed to win trophies. Isn't he?
He's guaranteed to win trophies.
And there's
that's
no
how-
way he won't take Shearer's record as well. If he stays in the Premier League, he'll take Shearer's record, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's an element of that too. But on the other hand, I also see why he would be excited at the prospect of coming to United.
I don't. I really don't.
Because, like I say, he could have a Van Persie type impact, and winners leagues, winners FA Cups.
I think we need a couple more players. If
Yeah.
Kane.
Yeah.
We
I don't think Kane would be enough for United though. That's the problem.
No,
I really don't.
I think United, they just need 2, maybe 3 more players. I think they're nearly there, but they need 2 or 3 more players, I think.
No, I think it's quite a few. My opinion is
I think we
Henderson.
need.
Go on, sorry. I'll just give my opinion because I'm not a United fan, so I'm a bit more disconnected, and it's probably better because I'm a bit more biased. I think Henderson's great as the long-term goalie. I think Harry Maguire is the best best of a bad bunch.
Yes.
So I would probably get in at least 2 or 3 more centre backs. A centre back that can do a bit more than just head it would take Harry Maguire's place like that. Because defensively, he really isn't as good as everybody thinks he is. But I can't deny his aerial ability, and I would have him in my team for just that. But I do think another centre back of that ilk would take his place like that. Wan-Bissaka needs some help. I think he's great. He's great defensively, but you can tell he's young. I think they need an older, more experienced right back, even if he just plays back up, just to talk to him, to sit with him, because I think that, you know, United's bit other than the centre backs, which are dog awful. You know, your problem is the right back, really, because he gets caught out a lot. Midfield, I like McTominay. I like Nemanja Matic, but he's getting old, so they probably need.
I think he'd be probably on his way, Matic. I imagine.
I think if I was you, I would cash out on Pogba. Despite the fact
I would think.
Is one of the best midfielders in the world still. He just doesn't show it enough because he clearly does not want to play for Manchester United and hasn't wanted to play for Manchester United for a very long time. In that case, what's he doing there? And yeah, you could probably do with somebody to back Bruno up, because Pogba's not going to play there, so you probably need an attacking midfielder. In terms of wingers, I think you're all right with Greenwood and Diallo and Rashford. And a striker, I would say yes, but even then, if Kane comes in, I don't think Kane's enough to sort United out at all.
But like you say, the first priority for me would be I would be absolutely thrilled with Harry Kane, but the way I see it in terms of priority is centre back, centre defensive midfielder, right?
And DDM for Fafana. There we go.
Yeah, but I don't think, I really, honest to God, I would double down on this. I really don't think they'd go at all.
Yeah, I agree. Followed by a right winger, because I know we've got options, but other than Greenwood,
yeah, we don't really have a lot of people that can play on
no
the right.
one can play on the right. Yes, they are young, we don't know much about it, but Rashford's not suited to the right. And then
No, he really isn't. He really.
They're still talking about Sancho, aren't they? Which I think is just a waste. At this point, it's a waste of money, because he would do well. I do believe he would do well, but one, he's not going to win trophies because he focused on a place where they've got people that could do the job as good as him.
Dortmund have not done well this season.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's difficult, and you know, I just want to draw attention to the fact that there was a game today, and it was United, but there's so many different narratives and stories and things to talk about around this that we haven't touched on in a long time. That actually, and also the game was boring. The game was boring. United played crap. Fair play to Fulham.
Fulham, Joe Bryan's equaliser was very good.
The defending was shocking.
Yes.
Where the hell was Aaron Wan-Bissaka, mate? He was fucking halfway up the pitch.
Lindelof infuriates me.
I think he gets a bad press.
He always makes me and my dad nervous.
I think Lindelof has become a bit of a scapegoat for United.
I think that many people are too busy slagging off Lindelof that they don't see how bad Maguire is defensively.
But he just needs the right partner, I think.
He's good in the air, and his positioning is good, but his tackling is awful. His timing is shocking. His awareness is crap.
Lindelof's too weak.
Yeah, I think that's the Lindelof problem.
He's
He's
not strong enough, and because of that, he shies away from tackles, and he gets done for pace quite a lot. If we want to make the next step, you could have a debate about this till the cows come home. But if we want to make the next step, Lindelof's not good enough. And
Yes.
You could argue Maguire's maybe not good enough, but I think he is. I think we just need someone to partner him, because I've seen enough of Lindelof to realise he's not good enough.
Yes.
Yeah, but okay. Let me put it to you like this, right? Harry Maguire, and this is the last time I'm not going to slag Harry Maguire off. He's not.
What a miss! Perez. All they had to do was flood him.
You know, he's not the player for me, Maguire, and that, that's fair enough. I everything I've said, I believe. I'll fight till the cows come home about it. I honestly don't see what everybody else sees. That being said,
you've got to hit the target.
I thought genuinely that Harry Maguire was in the top 5 best centre backs in the league, and you know his defensive partner was Wes Morgan. And Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans, underrated as hell, by the way. I think United are a lot worse off.
I didn't want him to go, I didn't want him to go when he left. I have a shirt, a United shirt, with Johnny Evans written on the back.
But it's funny, like just to finish off with what I'm saying, one half of the players that have left United in recent years have gone on to have better careers than United as a whole club. I know they're still finishing top 4, blah blah blah, but it's Manchester United. They should be winning trophies and playing good, attractive football every season, and they're just nowhere near at all.
If we're going through a crisis, what are Arsenal going through?
No, and that's what infuriates me about Arsenal. Don't even get me started. How can Arsenal have kept Arteta when what are they called? Chelsea got rid of Lampard. Tottenham got rid of Mourinho. Don't get me wrong, he's probably on his way out, and so is Lampard. Really, I don't think the players were playing for him. But like Arsenal are not great at all.
Well, that's why in the mid-table.
No, I know, but it's Arsenal Football Club. It's the Invincibles. It's Thierry Henry.
If Arsenal,
is it?
No, but that's what I mean. If that's what we're looking at it from, if that's the way we look at football,
Arsenal,
which is what we do. Arsenal, massive club. Thierry Henry, Bergkamp, United.
There's a fight going on.
Beckham.
There's a fight going on. Sorry to interrupt. It's all bubbled over. The coach and staff are getting involved. There's a fight between Chelsea and Leicester players.
Forget Pizzagate, it's Cokegate, it sounds like.
The coaches are all on the pitch. Oh, it's all going on. Ian Atcho's involved. Tillemans is involved.
Ian Atcho's a nice guy as well.
I'm getting flashbacks to Chelsea and Tottenham. Do you remember when Leicester were close to winning the league?
Michael's trying to be the peacemaker, or is he? Yes, he is. They're all in a huddle. They've all got real problems. He's going to be sending off. And the coaching staff are fighting.
Oh my God.
This is really
the point being is that like we as football fans, and we're all guilty of doing it. Everybody here, we've seen United as the driving force, Arsenal as a driving force, Chelsea as a driving force, Man City as a driving force in the Premier League, And what is like, a good thing and a bad thing in a way in terms of Arsenal is at least they've accepted where they are. At least they've accepted that they have issues, and that's like not okay. And it's not. Should they have got rid of Arteta? Probably. Am I glad as somebody that likes to see managers stay? Yeah, I'm glad he stayed because he's ex-Arsenal captain, stayed there for years, blah blah blah. But if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd want him right out the door because he's not doing enough. He's not doing enough. There's still nowhere near where Arsenal Football Club, the Invincibles, Tony Adams, David Seaman, Thierry Henry, they're nowhere where that team should be. They haven't got those players, and that's the thing. United don't have anywhere near the quality that United should have. When actually, if you look at the players they've got on paper, they've got enough to storm a Premier League, and they don't.
Yeah.
Colleagues. Oh, Daniel Martin from the bench has been yellow carded.
I mean,
Sam, shut up.
No, just keeping you updated, that's all.
No, thank you for that, Sam.
I agree with you, Jordan, to an extent. And does that come back down to Solskjaer not being experienced enough, do you reckon?
I have said for a long time, and I will still say it, that he is not good enough.
Yeah, because obviously, as a fan of the club, I love the club to death. I hate the owners. I despise them. They look like rats.
Oh, they need to go. And you look at Old Trafford, Ben. I know you've been on a tour and it needs a makeover.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
It's rotting. It's slowly rotting.
It is. But anyway, what was this saying? Oh yeah, that was it. Solskjaer, as an ex-player, I want him to succeed, but
Of course we do.
But I will give him the. I don't think he's doing a bad job. I don't. But I don't know whether us as fans as players should accept a manager not doing a bad job and take a leaf out of, I don't know, Chelsea's book and be a bit ruthless, because like I said, I don't have a problem with Solskjaer at this current moment in time, but it's whether he's gonna take us to the next step of winning a Premier League, I just don't see it, to be honest. Obviously, if we have a good summer, if we have a good transfer window this summer, my opinion could change on that. But right now, I just don't think he's the man to get us winning Premier Leagues.
Rudiger and Iheanacho have got a problem. It's all kicking off.
How did this even start?
Man United won't win a title under Solskjaer.
No.
I think they will win the Europa League, but I think it's going to be difficult because Unai Emery, with a lot to prove, has done it.
Yeah,
Unai
yeah.
Emery's got a lot,
Yes,
had a lot to prove.
I love my Piera. Yes, I do.
He had a lot to prove in his career, and he went to Villarreal, and he's done it. He's turned he's probably saved his career. So I think that United have got a real task, and if they don't get in, if they don't get the result, United, I think that Ollie will still stay, but I think there should be serious question marks.
Yeah, well, I
Because
agree.
I'm not being disrespectful to Villarreal, and I'm going to reiterate what a brilliant job Emery has done, but it's still Villarreal.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you totally. I mean, obviously, Solskjaer's broken the semi-final case this year, and it's a perfect opportunity to win the trophy, to win the Europa League. But like you said, Unai Emery's experience in the competition. I think he's won it something like 4 out the last 6 Europa Leagues or
With
something.
Sevilla,
Yeah,
correct?
Yes.
with Sevilla, and I think he will target the defence because there's gonna be no Maguire, and I just don't feel as confident as maybe other fans are feeling because and it, like I say, if we do go on to get beat, it may be a bit reactionary, but maybe questions do need to be asked because at the end of the day, I think slight. I don't think Solskjaer's doing a bad job. That, like I said, he's not doing the greatest job. He's not doing the worst job. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, and it's a very basic thing to say, this, but it's true. As a manager, you're based on results and silverware, and that's how it is. And as a manager of Manchester United, you should be competing in finals, season in, season out.
I mean, I know that I'm not a United fan, and I have got very heated and passionate when I've spoken about it in in tonight's show. But I see so many people like Ollie's at the wheel. We're gonna win all these trophies and all these silverware and going on about whatever, and I like they're just it's not. The play style is nowhere near where it should be. You watch what City do, and you understand why they win leagues, and then you watch what how a Leicester play, how a
Yeah,
Chelsea are playing at the moment, and then you watch United, and you're like, yeah, they won 3-1, but they could also have been beat.
yeah. I mean, I, I, as a fan of the club, from when Solskjaer first took over, I do see um, improvements, not big improvements, but improvements. But um, I do also agree that sometimes they just look like a bunch of 11 players lost on a field, not knowing what to do. Um, and and as a club like Manchester United, that isn't good enough. But you could, like I say, you could argue to the cows come home whether Solskjaer is the man to get us back to winning trophies. But yeah,
Okay, all right.
I
Do you
just
think
don't
you do you think
see.
you ever will? Do you think you ever will win a trophy under Solskjaer?
Well, if we don't win the Europa League, obviously the Europa League is best chance. But if you ask me, do I ever think we win a Premier League? The answer is no. But if you ask me, do, do I think we'll win a trophy? Yes, I do. But not.
Okay, all right. Let me change that because you're in a final as it is. So let me ask a different question, which is, do you think you'll win any English honours, like an FA Cup, a Premier League, or even a League Cup?
Um,
Because I don't see it. I really don't.
um, I mean, I don't see it, to be honest, either. Like with Solskjaer, like I said, there's improvements, but it always seems to be in peaks and troughs. Like we'll play well for a few weeks, and then get a poor result the next. Like if we like for example, Sheffield United, we lost to them. West Brom, we dropped points. Leeds, we dropped points. Everton, we dropped points. And like Man City,
They're the ones you've got to beat as well.
yeah, we've bridged the gap a little bit compared to last season, the season before, but we need to continue to bridge the gap if we want to win a league, Champions League, them sort of stuff. But to answer your question, do I think we win an English honour under Solskjaer? No, I think it'd be difficult.
I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what you think, Sam. And you.
I think the most important opinion is, I've been very vocal, but the most important opinion isn't mine. The most important opinion is yours, because you're United fans and someone who's been very quiet while I've spoke, which I appreciate. But it just surprised me, because usually he's very vocal against my opinions. If he agrees or doesn't agree, is Sam. So I'd like to hear Sam's opinion on everything that me and Ben have just been talking about.
I mean, I agree with Ben, to be honest, and I don't want to go over the same ground. I don't think we'll win a Premier League. We might win an FA Cup and certainly a trophy. You look at the amount of semi-finals we've been in under Solskjaer, this being his first final. Look, if we
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah.
If we keep making semi-finals and finals, we're going to win eventually. Logic tells you that.
Logic would tell you that.
But I don't think we'll win a Premier League over 38 games. Unless there's drastic change, because we're not consistent enough. We're not. We don't. We've got away with it a bit this year, but we're still not.
Also, sorry, sir. Do you want to say anything else?
No, that was it. That was it.
Also, we don't play for a full 90 minutes. We tend to play for a half, which is very strange. But somebody said to me a few weeks ago, and I thought it was interesting. Somebody said to me that they think United are similar to Spurs in terms of when it comes down to it, they bottle it. What do you think?
Yeah.
We're a bit Spursy. Yeah. I mean, we are a bit flaky. But we'll have to see. I don't know what you guys think, but maybe we should, because we've debated this for a long time, and if anybody's got anything else to say, then please say it. But AKA Will, because he's like a dog. But maybe we should talk about maybe the other stuff in football.
Oh,
I know
absolutely,
Ben's got to go at 11, and I can't stay for any longer than 11. Sure, because I've got college tomorrow. So So yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But
where do you want to go, Will?
to start off with, yeah, obviously, I would like to start off by saying there's been some interesting transfer rumours, and I'm not just talking about Kane. Obviously that's the major one, but also what's broke out today is he says Dean Henderson's future at United hangs in the balance. So that brings up another debate about who the number one is, as well as Roy Hodgson leaving Palace
Yeah.
who's gonna go there. So there's
With all the players out of contract. So where do you want to start, Will?
Well, I think it's I think this would be a good thing. I mean, Palace, the contract situation, they showed it on Match of the Day too, with the graphic, and I was just shocked how they've allowed so many players, and and the manager as well. I just think it's an absolute mess, really.
yeah,
Some good players as well. Like, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful what you wish for, because if they go for all young players, who's to say they're going to be good enough? So,
yeah, I agree. I know their contract situation and all of that. It is a bit of a mess. They've got one of the oldest teams in the division, Milivojevic, Cahill, Benteke, bringing the average age up. Wills are Harstay, I don't know. But it'd be interesting to see how much of a different outlook, a person like Lampard would have on the Palace team compared to Roy Hodgson. I mean,
I think it depends what tools he's got to work with, money-wise.
And I think a name like Frank Lampard, someone just tells me Steve Parish would pump a lot of money into Palace if they got a name like Frank Lampard. But
I agree.
On Roy Hodgson, fair play to him.
He's done a good job.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Roy Hodgson.
He's also
Roy.
Roy. He's also 73, turning up day in, day out, managing a Premier League club, the level of stress to maintain a steady team.
Yes.
Fair play, But it'd be interesting to see also with a name like Lampard, will he be able to bridge the gap towards Europa League football potentially? Southampton did it, Fulham did it. If he gets back like I just mentioned, I think he will. Then they could be outsiders for the Europa League.
Yeah. They've got the players. If they can mix it up.
Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look at all those players that are going, I think Palace have got to be careful they don't go the other way.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
It swings and roundabouts, really.
Depends who they
even
keep.
Even with Lampard, Palace next year could get relegated if they don't.
Yeah, but we've said that every year under Hodgson, and
No. No, but I just mean with the amount of turnover of players they look like they're going to have.
Yeah, but I'm going to counter that and say, how much will they lose? Because I don't think of all the 12 however many players it is, I don't think they're all going to go.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's no way they would all go.
They
No,
could
I believe maybe like a Cahill could go. I think Cahill could go.
Yeah, I could see him going to the MLS maybe.
He's
Cahill.
getting older. No, I think he'd retire. What is he, 35?
No,
He'd
he's
probably
got another.
jack it
He's
in.
got another club with him.
Do you reckon?
And Bolton
Yeah.
in League One.
No,
Yeah.
but seriously, I just don't. I think they've got to be very careful, Palace. If they're going to get rid of all them. Some of them, yeah, but the amount of names, let's say 9 of the 12 go.
That's a
gonna
lot.
That's going to be a real issue and a big turnover. And then it's, well, who are they going to get in to replace that quality? And then are they going to be able to gel in time for the start of the season? And have a new manager. Is there too much change at once?
You're right, because you need stability, and if you're going to make change, you need to do it gradually.
I think though if they get an exciting manager in, a lot of those that are out of contract could stay.
Yeah, because
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
I actually agree with both of that. I agree with your points, but that's only it. If a couple of them go, then stuff like that won't happen. But if 9, 10 of them go, like you said, then that potentially could happen where they sink or swim. But like
I'm gonna make a prediction now. If 9 of
God.
those players, if 8 of those players or more go, and depending who goes, Palace are my tip to get relegated next year.
That's a big call.
Even
yeah.
with a great manager, you think about it, they could lose Zaha, 7 or 8 players. You're not going to replace Zaha with a player as good as Zaha. So they are. So if they lose all their players like that plus Zaha, they will get relegated. Honestly, I would have a bet on it. Now, even with somebody like Frank, who I like very much, I think Pep Guardiola could be the manager. But I still think, whoever you put in there, if the club don't get the balance right, it could be in deep trouble. I really do. Because you've seen it before. Look at Derby when they decided that the age of the squad was too old. And fair enough, bring the age down. But they got rid of a load of players. And those younger players needed senior pros around them. And because they didn't have as many senior pros, they started to struggle because they might have been talented, but they were too young to all play together at the same time. So, and I just worry that was going to happen to Palace. I really do.
Well,
No, you're not wrong.
yeah,
I am wrong, but I'm not.
No, you're not wrong. I think they could.
No,
be in
I
trouble.
think there's some very good points there.
It's a lot. The problem is it's all speculation at this point.
Oh yeah, you don't know. They might think, well, it'll free up money and they might have targets
And
as a club.
I'm just gonna cut across you. It's not football related at all, but I've just seen something very interesting on Facebook. Somebody that we don't know him, but we know of him. An actor called Sam Retford.
yeah, he's
has-
in Surrey.
Yeah. You beat me to it. Has just joined Corrie. which I
Oh,
think is really
wow.
interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
That's
who's he gonna
amazing.
play?
I think he's
Yeah.
an extra.
No, I think I read that he's a love interest to one of the females in it.
For an actor, there's no bigger show than
I
Corrie.
think there are plenty bigger, but I mean in terms of like British. I don't know.
Institutions.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
well,
60
probably
years, I think, this year.
it is the biggest British institution for me, Corrie, because it's the longest running one.
Yeah,
But yeah, so congratulations to Sam.
absolutely.
We do know of him and spent many years interacting with him. Maybe we were, I wouldn't say we were close with him, but we definitely knew of him, spoke to him, and yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice lad
We're
as
very
well.
pleased for him.
Yeah.
And he was in Ackley Bridge. I don't know
I
if
would-
anyone is.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
He was brilliant in that.
And he was
also.
he's also been in Death in Paradise as well.
I didn't recognise him at first. I was like, I'm sure I know that guy.
No, I remember my cousin surrounds me because she knows him because she's been to. I think they went to school together or they've got mutual friends. So they've been to a few parties together, and she said, "Oh, this Ackley Bridge is starting. It's got somebody called Sam Retford in it. His brother might have gone to school with you. Do you know Sam Retford?" I said, his brother. It was his brother. You know, I said his brother's name, which you know, and he said, yeah, that's it. I said, oh yeah, I do know him. Yeah. Didn't realise he was as old as he was. Didn't realise he was our age. I thought he was a bit younger than old. But then again, that's probably because that's probably because all the times that we saw him were only when we were sort of younger. He stopped going as he got older. It came less and less, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But sorry, that was knocking massively, of course. But I thought it was just really interesting, kind of thing for us.
Congratulations, buddy.
Absolutely.
All of us in Football Central, if you're watching, I don't know why you would watch.
I don't think anybody would, but at least you've given me a reason to watch Corrie. So yeah, congratulations, and we'll carry on. I think that just to go back to Roy Hodgson, I think that the statement that Palace put out, the thing about after 4.5 years of managing his boyhood club, Roy Hodgson is going to step down. I think that, you know, it's an incredibly heartwarming thing in general. You know, it's like kind of Steve Bruce, Newcastle fan. They're like Roy Hodgson, Palace, boyhood.
They managed
you know,
Sunderland.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah, manage Sunderland, but you got to make a paycheck somewhere.
Not
and
Sunderland.
A lot of players actually do cross the Sunderland-Newcastle divide more than you'd think, actually, which I think is disgraceful.
Shocking.
I think it's disgraceful, but that's a different thing altogether. But yeah, I wish him all the best. I think he mentioned about coming out of football for a bit. I don't blame him. I think, you know, if you were a boyhood Palace. If you're a boyhood Palace fan, that's basically your dream job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe
I know he got
England job.
I know he got to manage England, but that didn't really end in the best way, did it?
No. And everyone thought he'd be finished, didn't they, after that?
Whereas for Palace, you know, he's done a lot of good things. For me,
yeah, he's steadied the ship and done a great job.
The most memorable thing in Roy Hodgson's career is when he told Roberto Carlos that he could never be a left back. When he managed Inter Milan, which is the most grotesque statement I've ever heard. But that's fine.
Listen, I'd like to make a point because I've got to go slightly earlier than I thought in about 10 minutes time, and it's just moving it on to the Hall of Fame induction.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about as well actually before we got off, so carry on.
Obviously, Cantona and Roy Keane have been inducted today, where the entries obviously.
Yeah, I'd have put Bergkamp before Keane, but I think Cantona.
How about Vieira? I'm surprised Vieira. Vieira
I
was a
bet
better
Patrick
player
Vieira. I
than Roy
bet Vieira was seething that Roy Keane
Yeah,
got him
that Roy
for it.
Oh yeah, because they two, that was a big rivalry.
Keane. For
I mean-
me, though, I don't know about you boys, but for me, Vieira was a better footballer than Keane.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's
yeah,
more about what Roy Keane did as a, the amount he
As a
won. That's what I
captain.
think. Because to me,
as a
I think there have
captain
been
of the
players that are more influential, or have done, or have got better numbers and things like that, or have done more, or been in the Premier League a lot longer than Cantona. But I think it is about, when you've got Lampard, Gerrard on that list, Bergkamp, and they're there before a Cantona or a Keane. I think Cantona definitely deserves it. And I
Yeah.
liked what he
It's
said.
just been like,
I don't know
he
if
said
you saw
I'm not
it.
surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where he said if there was a Hall of Fame, you'd have to pick me first, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, bloody hell, okay, mate, get off your high horse. But
Just going back onto Keane and Vieira quickly, it's undoubtedly, Vieira was a better player in terms of ability, but why Roy Keane was regarded so highly was his ability to bring out the best in players, his ability to take the game by the scruff of the neck when no one else was. And let's not forget, he was a great captain, great leader, and
one of the best.
Yes.
yeah, and that is why he's regarded so highly. For me, next it's got to be somebody like Bergkamp or someone like that with that ilk.
Or somebody like John Terry or
Yeah.
Okay, all right. This is how we'll end the show, because I think this is a very good way to end the show. And we'll start with Ben, because he's got to go before us, but we won't last much longer after Ben goes anyway. So
I think
I'll
we
get
could all end together.
Yeah, I do. I think that would be best, but just in case it runs. I'm just gonna look at the list of nominees again. So 2 more. I think it's 2 more, isn't it? 2 more are have been inducted. So there's 4 left. 4 have got to be inducted over the rest of this week. Yeah. Hall of Fame. That's not how you spell
I
fame.
think
Hall of
it's
Fame.
I think it's a bit of a novelty.
Nominees. Well, it is, but I think that
I can see that.
if any league was gonna get a bit of money out of, if any league was gonna try and push a bit more of a thing, then it would be the Premier League. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Why are they
Okay.
getting money for it?
I don't think so. But right, so let's have a look. Roy Keane and Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry and Eric Cantona are the 4 that are in. There's 4 more to go. Now, they could be Tony Adams, Matt Letizia, Ian Wright, Peter Schmeichel, Les Ferdinand, Sol Campbell, Andy Cole, Robbie Fowler, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, Frank Lampard, Rio Ferdinand, Dennis Bergkamp.
David Beckham's got it.
I don't know why he would be on there. I don't think David Beckham's that good, but okay. Patrick Vieira, Michael Owen, Steven Gerrard, John Terry, Ashley Cole, Didier Drogba, Robin Van Persie, and Nemanja Vidic.
There's too many to name, but I would go with
4 out of those.
4?
Yeah.
It's very difficult, and
Starting with Ben.
and it can change over time, but I would go with Bergkamp, Vieira,
Yeah.
Lampard,
Yeah.
and between Terry, Gerrard, and Scholes. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same. I think I'm very confident on 3 I would pick, and then not so confident on 1 I wouldn't. On the last one, sorry. So we'll go to Sam next.
No, I'd go to Will next.
We'll go to Will next time.
All
Okay.
good choices, Ben.
Ooh. Well, I would think Thierry Henry.
He's already in there. Carry on.
You just need to pick 4 out of the ones you said.
Yeah,
Any
all the
4.
ones I've just said, you can pick any 4.
Right. Okay.
Please tell me you were listening to me, please.
Could you say them again? Sorry, I do
Oh
apologize.
my God! No, look them up yourself, you.
Oh, look them up. I'll do mine.
Okay.
Right. So I would go.
Okay.
Oh my God, Will, you're unbelievable. You're such a fucker, mate. You really are. I would go. Dennis Bergkamp, definitely. Frank Lampard, definitely. Ashley Cole, definitely. Because he just completely, like, the modern fullback encapsulates the modern fullback.
Yeah,
Ashley Cole, and then I think it's difficult. Personally, and just on a side note, Didier Drogba did a lot in the Premier League, but
Fantastic
in
player.
in terms of numbers and influence, and compared to some other players that could be up there, no, not as good. I love Didier, one of my favourite Chelsea players of all time. But how is Zola not there? To me, to be fair, or even a Mark Hughes, who he was only in it for the first couple of years, but he was still very good, Mark Hughes. So I don't know. I would. The last one's difficult. I think you can't ignore it, Patrick Vieira.
No.
You can't even ignore a Michael Owen or a Robbie Fowler or even in my head, when we were talking about it and I was listening to Ben make his picks, when I was reading the list, straight away I thought Matt Letizia, because the sheer
Southampton
skill,
legend.
the loyalty, and
He's a legend.
just everything about Letizia I really like. You look at his goals, his assists, look at him
I
as a
think it's
person.
unfair. I think it's unfair that they're doing a Premier League Hall of Fame because they act like football didn't exist before the Premier League. And that really annoys me because there were some great footballers that played in the Premier League and before that don't even get a mention. And it really annoys. It's like football didn't exist. I know Sky and all these are, it's the Premier League, but we seem to forget about football before the Premier League. It's like it didn't exist.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make my final pick and then I'll throw it back to Will. I as a Chelsea fan, I don't know if
Hello?
George, you still
I'm
there?
gonna ignore John Terry. I mean, as a centre back, it was just perfect.
Yeah.
Can you not hear me? John Terry.
Yeah, that's a good set.
Yeah, for me.
Listen, I'm gonna have to go now, but let me know who you pick. You two.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it in the. We'll put it
Right,
in the
well,
group
why don't
chat.
we pick ours? Why don't we pick ours afterwards and finish with Ben?
Oh right, yeah,
We
yeah,
can all
yeah.
finish
Yeah,
Okay.
with
well,
the school.
okay. Well, Ben's finished, and we'll pick our.
I
Sam
need
and
to
Will
think
pick
of
theirs.
one.
Okay.
Alright then. I'll see you in a bit. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Thanks for being there, Ben.
Thank you,
Oh,
Ben. Yep. It's been brilliant having you
alright.
on, mate.
All right, mate. Good luck with all your assessments. It's great to see you, Ben.
Cheers and you. See you later.
Take care.
See you
lots
See you
of
later.
love
later,
to all
Ben.
your
Been great
family,
having
mate.
you on, mate.
And you.
Bye,
See
Ben.
you later, bye.
Bye.
Bye, mate.
Top man.
Okay.
Top man.
Right. He really is. What a guy. He's such a good young. I know, like we're only. Well, I don't know. I still feel like saying he's such a good young lad, but that makes us sound really old.
We
Yeah.
all sit together.
But we are
Is it
we are much older than him, really. In the grand scheme of things, we are actually. So yeah. Right, let's get your picks then, Will. I think I really can't decide. My last pick, I think it's got to be John Terry. But then you look at the likes of Sol Campbell and Tony Adams, and well, I don't know. I haven't chosen. It was Giggs in that list. I think Giggs was. If Giggs was in that list, I'm gonna go for
No.
Giggs. I'm just gonna look at the list again.
No,
No,
well,
he's
yeah,
not.
Longevity, I suppose.
He wasn't. That's a joke. How do you have Beckham and Drogba and Les Ferdinand over Ryan Giggs?
Who for longevity? I'm surprised Teddy Sheringham's not in that.
Yeah,
That's
especially because
amazing.
Teddy Sheringham is one of the oldest Premier League scorers at 40 years old for West Ham in the Premier League. I think Teddy Sheringham should be there.
Good shout, yeah.
But no, I think if there's no Ryan Giggs, I've got to go for John Terry. I can't not. I mean, Vidic is obviously a good shout. So is Campbell. So is Adams. But John Terry played in nearly every Premier League season.
Yes.
Like, you know.
And he
from
was there for
nine-
years, wasn't he, at Chelsea?
You know what I mean? From 97 to 2017. That's
Wow.
20 Premier League seasons out of
That's
what's that?
amazing.
That's 20 out of 28 or 27 that have been. So, like, for me, he just and only with one club as well, he encapsulates what we as football fans want to see more of, which is one club men.
Oh, I don't think you see many of them, in all honesty.
With that, I think, who wants to go next, Will or Sam? Are you ready, Sam?
I'm ready.
You ready? Let's go
Okay.
with you, Sam. First pick.
I'm gonna go for Tony Adams,
Yeah,
Good
good
choice.
shout.
just because he did so much for Arsenal.
Yeah, with Steve
And I
Bold,
think-
wasn't he, his partner, Bold and Adams?
I think as well, I think you're right about not taking into account the first division, which is a shame because I think you would have seen a few more players on there that had careers, big careers in the first division, but didn't do much didn't do as much in the Premier League, like a Mark Hughes or players like that. So yeah, I think that's a good call, good shout. Second
Tony
pick.
Adams,
Yeah,
Ashley Cole,
yeah, 100%.
was he on the list?
Yes.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just think he was the best left back in the world, arguably at one time.
Great player, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was a great player. For me, Dennis Bergkamp has to be in there. 'Cause I
Oh,
think
he's an
Dennis
Arsenal legend, isn't
I
he?
think Dennis Bergkamp changed the way Arsenal was going to be. A bit
Agree,
like Eric
100%.
Keane now with United.
Yeah.
And for me, it's so hard because there's so many great players. For
That's a
me,
difficult one.
for me, Wayne Rooney has to be in there only because
He's not on the list though.
No,
Hang on, he's
Is he
not
not
on
on
the
the
list.
list?
no.
No.
Is United's all-time record goal?
Yeah, but it's something like they've got to have retired before the end of last season.
All right, okay. In that case, then, bloody hell. In that case,
Who did you say? You said Adams, Ashley Cole. That's 2. Bergkamp,
Bergkamp.
2. Only one more. I struggled with my last pick. I think it's really hard. I think you
it's
can.
so many. You can make a case for like 10.
You could make a case for every single one, apart from a few. I think I don't know what Les Ferdinand's doing on there. I really don't.
I'm gonna say.
Great player, but
What?
Well, I've picked at least 2. I have.
Hold on.
is that it? You've only picked 2.
No. I'm still deciding on the third one, but I've got 2. There.
I'm gonna say was Javinho wasn't on that list, was he?
Who? Jovino?
Never heard of him.
Oh, Janino. No.
I'm gonna say.
Hard question. Take your time.
No, Dad, I need your help.
Huh?
Four player that should go into the Premier League Hall of Fame that has retired by the end of last season. I've got Bergkamp, Ashley Cole. Who else did I say? Bergkamp, Cole,
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams.
Got the
Right, have you done with your selection?
So Henry's already been inducted. Henry's already in. Already in is Cantona, Keane, Shearer, and Henry.
well, I think surely Giggs has to be in there.
He's
doesn't
not on the list.
He's not on the list.
I can't believe it.
Oh well, I know I'd take him off because he's got a court case, hasn't he?
Oh,
That's
of
probably
course,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they replaced him with Shearer, didn't they? I think.
I think he was the first pick before all that
Well,
with Giggs.
yeah, that's why Giggs has gone.
Right.
Gosh, got some good names in there. Let me have a think quickly.
It's hard work, isn't
When
it?
did he retire?
The end of last season.
The
What
end
about
of last
not
season.
retired from football completely, or just from the Premier League?
From the
Completely.
Well, not just from last season. Anytime from
Gavin Silver?
He's not retired.
That's what I said.
He's not
Not
retired.
retired.
No.
Yeah.
We've got to have retired.
That would be a good shout, though. That's what I'd have an argument for it.
We've got to have retired from any time in the Premier League era up to last season.
Vincent Company?
Not retired.
No, he's not on there.
He retired. Didn't he retire in the summer? So that's too late, I think. Yeah.
Too late. Yeah.
I'm going to pick Drogba and Gerrard.
Well, I do have another one. Surely Gerrard must be in there.
Yeah, Gerrard's on there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Drogba,
say
Gerrard,
it's
and Lampard, I
Hang on,
think.
let Sam finish his pick. Hang on, go
Oh,
on.
sorry, Sam. I thought you'd already finished.
It's all right. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say out of the ones that are left, I am
Yeah.
saying John Terry
Yeah,
Good shout.
good shout.
has to be
Good
in
shout.
there.
I think that was a very well picked 4. I think I was a bit biased with mine, but what can you do?
Go on then.
Yeah, go on, Will.
Drogba, Gerrard, and Lampard.
Drogba, Gerrard, Lampard. Okay, one more.
Oh, one more. Oh, I'm gonna go with.
You're not having Bergkamp.
That's unbelievable.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, it was hard, but
Gerrard, yeah.
I suppose I'm going off players that I really remember.
Yeah.
If you'd watched more football, though, you'd notice.
Well, when Bergkamp was still playing, I was obviously
Not
still.
even hardly even born, Will.
Yeah, it's okay.
So yeah, Drogba, Gerrard, and Lampard, yeah, and
You need one more. Hang on.
Rio Ferdinand, yeah.
Rio Ferdinand, good shout.
Over Vidic.
Or Terry.
Yeah, Terry's a good shout. Yeah. Oh, it's hard, but yeah, I've made my decision.
Yeah, I think that's a different. I feel like me and Sam went for a few of the same players. That's a very different one to ours, which I like. It's yeah. The thing is, and this is what's good about the Hall of Fame, even though it's also the bad thing in a way, is that you can make an argument for everyone.
Can I leave you guys to wrap up? I've just got to sort a few things out.
Yes, we'll.
All right, mate.
We'll crack on. Thank you very much for that, Sam.
I have a COVID test and a few other things.
Yeah, go for it.
All right then, fellas. Thanks for a great show.
Thank you, Sam.
See you
We've
later.
enjoyed it, mate. It's been fantastic.
See you,
lads.
lads.
A good time. See you
See
later.
ya.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Yeah, and you
Bye.
too. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so now we've been left to wrap up, Will. I do just want to say about the Hall of Fame, I think the good thing about it is that there is an argument for every player.
Yes.
Load of
I think
rubbish.
it's also incredibly hard to it's also incredibly hard to decide. Purely because, as we have said, that you could make an argument for every single one. I mean, we let's just quickly go down this list again, because now it's just us really. We've got some time to kill. Eric Cantona obviously is already in there. Tony Adams, not just with his achievements with Arsenal, 2 Premier Leagues, as captain. Something like, I think it was like 193 clean sheets.
Oh, that's good for a defender. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Which is unbelievable.
Was it Steve Bold? Am I correct? Tony Adams' partner.
Steve Bold. It was like Lee Dixon, Steve Bold, Nigel Winterburn, and Tony Adams as that back line.
Yeah. Did Keown play with them as well?
Keown played with them. Yeah, Keown I think took the place of Steve Bold. After Steve Bold obviously went. Then Matt Letizia, again, we've talked about him a little bit. What a player.
Yes.
What a career.
Fantastic, yeah.
One club man. Never really got the recognition he deserves, which I'm why I'm glad that he's on this list. Ian Wright, again, fantastic player.
Right.
Goal scorer extraordinaire. Just fantastic. Just knew where the goal was every time. Side netting, you knew what was coming when Wrighty was on the ball. Peter Schmeichel,
one of the all-time great goalkeepers.
One of the all-time great goalkeepers, like I said, so many league
with
titles.
David Seaman probably up there.
Scored in the Premier League for Villa, and just a fantastic goalkeeper. Les Ferdinand, again an underrated player, but fantastic.
Yeah, he's an interesting one.
Fantastic for Newcastle and QPR. Not as he went down the clubs. We've got here Tottenham, West Ham, Leicester, and Bolton. And didn't score as many as he went to different clubs, but still as good a player.
Yep.
Sol Campbell, realistically, another fantastic centre half. Just a great player. Again, deserved to be where up there in the where he was. Andy Cole scored goals for fun wherever. Newcastle, Man United, Blackburn,
Yeah.
Fulham, Man City, Portsmouth, and Sunderland. Just a great player.
Yeah.
Just more for Newcastle, Man United, Blackburn, Fulham, and then I think he started to sort of tail off with City and Portsmouth, and then Sunderland. Robbie Fowler,
Definitely remember him.
My favourite thing about Robbie Fowler was when he snorted the line after he scored, because there was rumours about him doing cocaine.
Oh.
Liverpool scored goals, Leeds scored goals, Man City scored goals, also Blackburn. I didn't even know he went there, but he must have done well there, or maybe he didn't. That's why I never really knew he went there. Paul's goals. What can you say?
Absolutely.
The Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes debate has been one of the things that has dominated the modern game for years. And for me, in terms of a complete midfielder, in terms of somebody to play as a midfielder, to only really ping balls about or hit long shots or do whatever, for me, he's the better one. Obviously Gerrard was more all-round, did all sorts. Lampard was a goal scorer. But Paul Scholes was complete in terms of as a midfielder in the midfield role. So yeah, definitely deserves to be up there as well.
Yeah.
David Beckham, crossing ability, free kicks.
Great player for England.
And also just the sort of superstar nature of David Beckham as well. I think. He was one of modern football's first sort of superstars.
And that's why Ferguson was a bit terrified of him, I think.
I think he is the reason that footballers, or he's one of the reasons, along with your Spice Boys like David James, Redknapp, McManaman, and Fowler. That is.
Jamie Carragher as well, wasn't he one of them?
No, I think it was before his time. I think it was before his and before Owen's time as well.
Oh, right.
But yeah, definitely. I think in terms of the Premier League, David Beckham is one of the most influential to ever play in the Premier League, but I think it's in a different way than, he won 5 or 6 Premier Leagues, so he deserves to be up there.
Yeah, the FA Cup and Champions League and League Cup perhaps as well.
It's a Premier League list, isn't it? So that's
yes.
Kind of. I don't know. It's probably a bit harsh saying that Drogba and Beckham don't deserve to be on this list. They do. Let me reiterate that they do. Players like that do. Les Ferdinand, Letizia, players like that, they definitely do deserve to be there, but not for me. There was people I would put there first.
Ahead of them, yeah.
Again, Dave Beckham, fantastic in terms of what he did for Manchester United and for football. And well, I don't know. I don't like this sort of superstar footballers, to be honest. But one of those. Yeah,
I can get. Although he never seemed to have an ego, did he, Beckham? He kept his feet on the ground when he could have easily done.
He was, he was a young lad. You know what I mean? The sort of, or I always felt, he's before our time, really.
Well, yeah, I do remember him playing for England, though.
But what we know of him as fans is that what I've seen of him through things like the Premier League years and stuff like that, I always get quite a good impression of David Beckham as a person. Like, I don't feel like he was, a big time Charlie or believed his own hype or
No,
any
no,
of that
he
kind
kept
of.
his feet on the
I
ground
really,
as well.
I feel like he, you know, kind of one of those things. When he's involved with Posh, and he's married to a Spice Girl who was the biggest thing going at the time.
Yeah, and he could have
I think
easily,
he's sort of
stopped, could he? You know.
But the thing I've always liked about David Beckham is that he's always still seemed to, be about his roots, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, we don't know him. He could be a complete cunt, but sorry, that's a bit. That's probably a bit too far for this show, but you know what I mean. Next, Frank Lampard, West Ham, Chelsea, City.
Yeah, I remember
Again,
him
what can we
briefly at
kind of say
City,
about
yeah.
him? I would talk and talk and talk about Frank Lampard. I absolutely
What a great
adore
player.
him.
I mean, again, I wasn't a
Yeah,
big
I
football
mean,
fan, but I certainly
for
do
me-
remember seeing a lot of Lampard. Yeah, on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, for you, as somebody that dipped in and out of football, when you kind of dipped in, he was there and at the top of his game. But by the time you come back, he wasn't really.
No, he was
about.
he was
football
older,
anymore.
wasn't he? Obviously, getting on a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's upwards. 211 goals for Chelsea across 13 years. What a player! What a servant!
Absolutely.
Can't say much more. Really can't say much more. I absolutely adore Frank Lampard.
I have massive respect for him, definitely.
Yeah. Rio Ferdinand, West Ham, Leeds, Man United, QPR. Probably most remembered for his spells at Leeds
And United, yeah.
Manchester United, of course. Again, a fantastic defender.
Him and Vidic
a
were
mix of old and
fantastic.
new school as well. Yeah, I mean, Vidic is on this list, obviously, which I agree with, because Vidic was a great defender, great player, but still a bit surprising. And there are some some defenders that were in the Premier League a lot longer, or did a bit more in the league, or were around a bit longer than. No disrespect at all to Vidic.
No.
A bit surprising.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was Carrick's testimonial. Then Vidic, he'd long since retired, but he showed he'd still got it. And he was playing even better than Rooney, who had not retired but was still playing.
Just a great, solid defender, both of those. Obviously, done well everywhere he's gone as well, apart from QPR, obviously, where he did get relegated. But I think
he was struggling with injury, wasn't he, towards that point, Ferdinand?
Obviously, we'd all seen by that point that he was probably, ready to jack it in, ready to give up, to stop playing. Dennis Bergkamp, again, we spoke a lot about him, his influence on Arsenal, on the Premier League. Just a fantastic player, the things he could do with the ball, the way he was, his impact ultimately.
Definitely.
again, it's kind of difficult as well because there's so much to say about some of these players that you don't know what to say,
Yeah.
which is an interesting kind of dilemma to have. Moving on to another player that's similar, Patrick Vieira, across years at Arsenal and a year at Man City as well in the
Oh
early
gosh, yeah,
2010s.
I forgot he played for City. Yeah.
Again, a player that in midfield, exactly what you wanted. Probably most known to modern fans for his arguments with Roy Keane. The Battle of Old Trafford and Pizzagate.
Oh yeah,
all
I've
that
seen clips
kind
of them
stuff.
together, and it's hilarious.
But for me, his range of passing, his awareness, his long range finishes, just a great player all round.
Ian, I remember. Oh, sorry to interrupt you. I remember seeing an interview with Ian Wright, and he said whenever Arsenal were playing with United, that's when Patrick Vieira would really turn it on in training because he'd be desperate to beat Roy Keane.
Yeah, it was like we talk about Man United and Liverpool, Chelsea and Tottenham, Man City and Liverpool of the modern era, and like not one of these, not one of those kind of rivalries comes close to United and City, United and Arsenal at the time.
Yeah, because Ferguson and Wenger used to also not get on, did they, as well?
No, but I think as they got older, they had a lot more respect for each other, which I enjoy, I like.
And I believe, according to, someone that I know, that Keane and Vieira, they did an interview and they actually get on, I think, now.
Yeah, I think I've seen the same thing. I think they are quite friendly with each other now, aren't they?
Which is hard to believe when you, see the clips on the pitch and stuff. And even in the tunnel as well.
Yeah, but I think, you've got as professionals, you've got the respect has got to be there. And
Oh, of course, yes.
The theme with a lot of these players, some of them more than others, when you've got the likes of, when you've got some players that were well known for not being, not necessarily looking after themselves one way or the other. A lot of people thought that Matt Letizia wasn't in the shape to be a professional footballer, and Robbie Fowler with the cocaine, Tony Adams with the drinking. But ultimately, what they are is consummate professionals, and because of that, legends. There are some of those that I would turn around and I would say, are they a legend? And some of them I might say no. Would I say that David Beckham is a Premier League legend? I would say his impact in the Premier League and what he's done for modern football in terms of, the kind of superstar and a lot more exposure, I think, yes.
It depends what you class as a legend, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's a conversation that we had quite a few times on the show.
Yeah, it's a very subjective thing.
Yeah. Would I turn around and say that Les Ferdinand is a legend in terms of goal scoring? I think he was great. But, I know Jermaine Defoe hasn't retired, but I'd easily put Defoe over him, Sheringham over him. But again, that's my opinion. Didier Drogba, Chelsea legend, yeah. Premier League legend. At the end of the day, he won 4 Premier Leagues. You can't argue with that.
And the Champions League, didn't he? Did he win the Champions League?
No, exactly. And the Champions League, which again, can't argue with that.
No. Drogba was a fantastic player.
but what I'm sort of saying or trying to say is that, like we've said, it all of it is very subjective,
Yes.
and ultimately, it's not down to our opinion.
No, no.
Anyway, let's move through this list. Just get it finished, get it over with.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, next on the list from where we were, Michael Owen. Liverpool, I would say, yeah, like the way this guy burst onto the scene and what he did for Liverpool.
One of the youngest ever players, wasn't he, to score?
Just, for me, fantastic all round. His pace, his finishing and awareness at such a young age. And it's a shame that he had that early injury with his hamstrings, and then obviously went to Madrid and still did well there. Come back, did okay for Newcastle in bits and bobs, but never really
Kicked on, really.
For me, never really fulfilled his potential.
Yeah, for me, I definitely do remember
you
Owen.
say that, but Michael Owen has won a Ballon d'Or. So, again, you can't argue with Michael Owen.
Yeah,
As a player that deserves to be up there. Won a Premier League with Man United.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes I forget he played for United.
won multiple Premier Leagues with Man United.
Oh gosh, yeah, because he was there for quite a while, wasn't he? Actually.
So, again, but he is somebody I do feel does deserve to be on the list, because the amount of goals he scored, really, as well, in a short space of time, because he left Madrid. Well, the bulk of them, because a lot of them obviously were scored for Liverpool. Left for Madrid when he was in his early to mid 20s. Come back, still scored goals in the Prem. I like Michael Owen a lot. I think again he was one of those, when we were talking about it earlier, when I thought, I might stick Michael Owen in there, but obviously ultimately in the end decided against it.
Yeah, it's a shame. Oh, sorry. I was just about to say, for me, it's a shame that I remember Michael Owen, but for all the wrong reasons, really. And yeah, it's a shame that. But
I think when I came into football, because obviously you had been a football fan young, and as did Sam and Ben and that, and they'd obviously stayed in the game. You dropped out. Me, I've told this story a lot before. I hated football when I was a kid. I didn't understand why so many people loved football. I absolutely hated it with passion. Which is funny now, because, as we've said multiple times, despite what Sam said earlier about me not knowing my football, I probably know more about football all round than any of us.
Oh yeah, arguably, yeah.
Well, and when I first came into football, Michael Owen was somebody I knew of, actually, because I knew of all the England players, Gerrard, Lampard, because one thing we always did in my house was we did watch England when it was on. So I knew of Michael Owen, but I knew Michael Owen as this fantastic player that scored loads of goals, and Argentina 1998 before I was born, and things like that. And once I got into football, he was on the bench at Stoke.
Oh God, yeah, he did play for Stoke as well. Yeah, forgot about that.
It was very weird for me, because what I thought I knew about Michael Owen, a player, who was fantastic and did lots of things in the game, as said, it did end in a bad way because of his injuries. So
Yeah.
that's sad. It's really sad. But yeah, definitely a worthy inclusion. I think a few more. Steven Gerrard, again. Not much to say about this guy. Phenomenal all round, and
Am I correct? Did Liverpool, do better statistically without Gerrard? Because according to my dad, they did.
what, before him or after him?
No, when he was injured or something, that they won more games without Gerrard than they did with him.
I'm not quite sure of that one.
Okay, fair enough.
To be honest. Yeah, Steven Gerrard,
Great player for Liverpool and England.
and I think a couple of these players, John Terry, we already talked about. Ashley Cole, we already talked about. Somebody that we haven't talked about, but has come about a couple of times.
Robin van Persie,
is Robin van Persie.
great player.
Fantastic for Arsenal. The not quite the perfect Henry replacement, but probably as good as they were going to get.
Well, there were big shoes to fill, weren't they? When you got the likes of Omri and Bergkamp, big shoes.
Yeah, but I think the thing about him was, he was part of the teams that had him in.
Oh, of course, yeah, because I think of him post Omri, but of course he did play with Omri and Bergkamp, yeah.
And Bergkamp, so, again, a great player. I think had a really good impact as well for United when he came in, as Ben mentioned earlier. So again, one of those that there's not really much point to talk about because
we talked about him quite a bit,
him.
haven't we, on this show?
Yeah. Drogba was somebody I missed out. Obviously, one of Will's picks. As a Chelsea fan, for me, despite the fact that why is he here in the place of some other players,
he still scored loads of goals for Chelsea.
I love Drogba because he was just consistent.
Yes.
His goal scoring was great. In terms of a world-class striker, I think he only hit more than 25 goals, only 2 or 3 times. So he wasn't, prolific. But I think, a fantastic player, a born winner, great leader, great captain. Bless me. A great leader, great captain, somebody that I'm obviously come back to play for a season at Chelsea, which earns my respect straight away, because I enjoy that, and yeah, love DJ Drogba, and obviously you picked him, so you
absolutely
will know
fantastic player.
What a good player he is.
Yep.
And the last person on the list we've already talked about, but is Nemanja Vidic. For me, I don't know, I was, this was kind of, obviously I know his impact and how good he was, but a little bit before my time really, when the era sort of where Vidic was at United, between 07, 08 and 2000 and
was he? I thought he was. I thought he was there since 2005 or something.
It might have been, but the main, the sort of part where he because when I came into football, Nemanja Vidic was already one of the best centre backs in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So I sort of missed out the part where he built his way up. When he first came to United, I was out of football, and it's something that those first 3 years where he sort of built himself up to be that good are the years that I actually don't have that much knowledge about. So I can't really talk that much about Nemanja Vidic because I think I saw not the worst of him, but certainly not.
Fair enough.
You know, the later stages of his career. Obviously for you, you know, Nemanja Vidic is an important part. I mean, Ferdinand and Vidic as a partnership.
Oh, of course, yeah.
As good as it got even then when I very first got into football. You know, great players all round. And again, I don't know whether I'd say, you know, if we're talking about I don't know, yeah, won a lot of Premier Leagues, but I don't know whether I'd
And the
put him in
Champions
there.
League as well.
I think obviously it's hard because for me, like, if you're gonna go to Premier League legends in the Premier League Hall of Fame, I think you've got to have.
There's more than the
players.
Premier League, isn't there?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh,
What
okay.
I'm saying is, if you're gonna go for Premier League legends, you've got to go for players that I don't know what I sort of said was like, where's Gareth Barry? Most
Gareth
appearances in the
Barry.
Premier League. Where's the like
James Milner,
where's
would he
David
be on
Seaman? No David Seaman on there. Unbelievable.
there? Oh, yeah.
No, James Milner's still playing. He wasn't
Oh,
on there.
of course, yeah. Silly me, yeah.
So yeah, there are a few players that I'd be like, why the hell is, you know, even players that didn't last too long in the Premier League or were coming
Like
to the end.
Henrik Larsson, maybe.
He was only there for one season, wasn't he? I know he did well, but don't know whether I'd put Henrik Larsson as a Premier League legend. No disrespect,
No, fair
Intended.
enough.
Henrik, but I don't know if I would put him on there. I mean more like, I don't know, there's a few that could go on there for sure. For me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't know about you, Will, but I think that's I think we've reached our end.
I think so, yeah. Before you take us home, George, shall we say what we said earlier before on air about the series?
I mean, if you're sure, or if you think that that's a good idea, if that's something you want to do, then
Yeah, well, that's
Okay,
something
well-
I think that, yeah, be good to mention.
the only thing I want to say
Oh, go on.
about it is, if you're sure, if you're 100%, you know, if you say this, it can't be unsaid, really.
No. I think I am sure because I think
After all the after everything that we went through when you originally said about, you know, ending the show, I think if you're going to make this announcement, you know, it's got to be.
No,
Like-
I am 100%. I think, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like if this is it, this is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, go for it then.
So we were having a chat before we came on the show, and what we thought was a really good idea is that the show will be continuing, but once a month. And I think that's good because it means that you know, we won't get burnt out from it. You know, we can all do. I'll be able to do different videos as well in that time, but we still get to do the show. And I think, you know, we would miss it, wouldn't we? And it would be a shame if we did completely scrap it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we owe a lot for the show continuing in this new kind of format, which I think is a lot easier. I think if we, I don't know. I think in some ways it's hard. In fact, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, I just think month to month, if we went through not quite all the games, but all the key moments within a month, in the Premier League and all the key stories for that month and things like that, I think, would be much more beneficial, as we'd have different sort of things to talk about.
Yeah. And we wouldn't run out of energy, would we?
That was one of the key things for us, wasn't it? Really, was to be able really to to be able to not get burnt out or struggle or not know what to say, because I think we've made no odds about it. We love doing this show, and it's done so much for us as people, as well as just give us an outlook. I know an outlet. I know a lot of people don't necessarily watch it, which is okay. It's not for everybody. And,
no.
And it's not like we're out here constantly saying, "Oh, watch our show," and we don't really talk about it or sort of display it at places, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like we don't advertise that. We
definitely don't. No.
Which is one of the reasons I think that we don't actually get too many viewers, but for us,
it's the best way, I think, and if we do, it's a bonus, I think.
We enjoyed it. I think, obviously the show could benefit from a few more people, and that is what that is, and maybe one day there will be a point where more people are involved in the show, and more people find us and get involved, and that'd be great. But yeah, I'm really excited about the monthly format. I think it's different, and it allows us to carry on, and also pre-plan, because we're all at different parts of our lives, and all that different things going on, which I'm sure we'll get into at some point. Also, what it allows for Will personally, it's not so much to do with us, is it allows Will to do something different, because as we have alluded to, or we've kind of joked about, but it's serious at the same time, Will doesn't know too much about football.
No.
Like myself and Ben and Sam, who are absolutely football,
who live and breathe football, yeah.
Whereas Will, to his credit, really isn't.
No, and I will admit that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's not being derogatory or mean or anything to and say, well, Will doesn't really like football. Well, no, not that, but you don't like it.
I don't live and breathe football. Take it that way, yeah.
You'll watch it, you'll understand it, but I think once it gets past the point, you lose interest.
Yeah.
Which is one of them, because it can't be helped, really. It can't be helped that.
No.
That you sort of aren't the biggest football fan, and that's something that we're not here going, oh, Will, you've got to know this, and you've got to know that, and you've got to know everything about football that there is to know. It's not, it's not that kind of deal.
No.
And quite frankly, because we enjoy football so much, we don't, not that we don't care that he doesn't know so much, but it makes it different to talk to Will about football
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we're
Do
really
you feel like
excited,
we
and you know,
sort
as
of
we come.
educating,
Oh,
well,
sorry,
on
Joe.
football? Sorry, well, you lost me a little bit. I was just saying that,
Oh
like,
yeah,
I
yeah. I
think
think.
part of the show that we enjoy a lot is the kind of the times where we do feel like we have to educate you. It's fun. It's just funny
It's
and,
entertaining as well, isn't it? Yeah.
a good laugh. And like I said, it's different because we've all known each other for so long. And,
Oh yeah. We're like brothers,
No.
aren't we?
I always to Sam because I've spent a lot of time with Sam over the years, as I've alluded to again. But it's been good for everybody because it's different. And it's kind of, yeah. So I think, like I said, monthly is something new for all of us. How it's gonna go, I don't know, but we'll see what we can do, and we'll do our best.
Yeah, definitely.
To,
That's the aim. That's the aim.
All we can do is try. I hope it goes well. I really do, because I've got a lot of faith in this show.
Yes.
But we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Yep.
And with that, first of all, I'm absolutely buzzing that we got to announce that we are staying around.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
I look forward to making more memories like the ones we have done.
Absolutely,
And,
yeah. And the Euros, it'd be great to cover some of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of the Euros we're going to get covered, but, I think depending on where the world is at that point, I think the majority of us are either going to be out drinking together or with other friends or...
Oh, yeah, who knows, yeah.
Doing other stuff, so, I think the Euros would be interesting to cover, but who knows.
Yep.
Yeah. So on that note, my thanks to the amazing Ben Carney and Sam Taylor, and the man who stayed with me right till the end at 20 to midnight. The man whose channel this is on, which is probably the reason he stayed with me for this long. Mr. TubeMix, thank you very much for your
Thank you very much. It's been a really great one, and yeah, thanks to Sam and Ben, and yeah, looking forward to the next shows. Long may it continue.
Yeah, I mean, I think we will be back on Friday for the roundup.
Yeah. And then on Sunday.
And then on Sunday, I don't know what the plan is on Sunday. I mean, is it just going to be post-match for the United game, and then or is it just going to be a post-match for the whole season? And do
I think it's going to be a post-match for the whole season. I think because
type thing. Obviously, in our lives, we're all gonna, our group of friends, so me, Sam, Will, and somebody else who has featured on the channel a little bit behind the scenes, Ashley, who are all going to meet up and go for a drink for the first time in a long time. So I think we'll discuss the future of the show and also what we're going to be doing on Sunday. But reports are that there is going to be some special guests.
Yes, yeah, we'll see.
At least you're definitely going to get the main four of us. So very exciting.
It's going to be very exciting,
and
yeah.
also very sad. I never like it when the football ends. I never like it when the football ends. The only real sort of saving grace is that the football is ending, but the Euros are on.
Yeah, you're never going to
which
be
is
too
gonna be
far
great,
away from the
and I'm really
football.
looking forward to it. No.
Absolutely.
So that being said, I have been Jordan, aka JLIWheels, and yeah, thank you very much. Enjoy your the rest of your night and the rest of your few days until Friday, which is only about 2 days away from tomorrow.
Yeah.
In COVID news, because we tend to keep you involved in personal developments with COVID, and also we did talk about COVID a little bit. Sam and Will have had both their jabs. They are fully vaccinated,
Yes.
and I am getting my second jab tomorrow. So yeah, what you will see is on Friday for the roundup is a show with COVID, which is very good.
Yeah. If you
So,
can have the
yeah,
job, you
with that
shouldn't
being
even have
said,
to think about it.
take care.
Get it in you.
Yeah, no, don't get it in you. Take with all that, take care, stay safe, and all the best.
Absolutely.
Goodbye.
See you soon.